May we please have 1 minute from Joe Kennedy.
Excellent. Good evening, everybody. My name is Joe Kennedy. I'm running along with the People's Council of Surrey. We are a party that has, of course, 1 mayoral candidate and 5 councillor candidates. I'm here to represent them today. Our party, including myself, is based on honesty, transparency, as well as freedom being the paramount thing. You're going to hear from a lot of people that are going to talk about how they can spend your money, how they can best spend your tax-paying dollars. We are a little bit different that way in the sense that we want to get government out of your way, lower taxes, allow you to make the choices that are important in your life on how you would like to set your goals and how you'd like to save, or spend your money. We would like to make it available for businesses to come in and do what they do best, pursue what they find meaningful, and make everybody essential. Thank you very much. My name is Joe Kennedy, People's Council Surrey.
Thank you. In light of numerous examples of businesses and residential developments waiting more than 12 months for approval, the BC government has published roadmaps for addressing issues of housing affordability through the Development Approvals Process Review, DAPR, and the BC Candidate Expert Panel on the future of housing supply and affordability. If you are elected, what measures from DAPR or the Expert Panel report will you adopt to streamline approvals and fast-track developments to assist small businesses, industry, and housing?
Again, Joe Kennedy with the People's Council, Surrey. So I've read a lot of reports from the BC province and regarding housing, regarding affordability. And it often is painted with the idea that we have to provide more low-income housing. We have to provide more climate change initiatives into these housing developments as well. And I got to take a step back, to be completely honest, because I know that that Surrey currently is at Energy Step 3, which is part of the Climate Change Act that BC and Surrey has tied on to. And I don't know if you are aware, but that adds a significant amount of money to developments. And I don't think that that's something that maybe that we as councillors should be deciding for people that are in need of housing. We are already bound by the BC Housing Code. We would make great houses, and we would tie it to that and make it not a mandatory sign-on, but that it would be voluntary, so you can make that choice on whether or not you want to buy an Energy Step 3 house.
Thank you. So the question of housing is, how would you respond to critics who argue housing availability and affordability is a provincial and municipal issue that can only be solved with solutions at the local level? We'll start with a representative from the People's Council.
Excellent. Joe Kennedy again, People's Council. So the question comes down to affordability, and it's really hard to what does that metric mean for everybody? Everybody's affordability is different. Again, with the People's Council, we are truly looking at increasing supply, getting government out of the way to allow builders to build. And to be honest, I know a lot of these other candidates up here, they're going to talk about having wraparound services, low-income housing for every single development that goes that's approved within Surrey. And where's that money going to come from? That's going to have to get passed on to the residents of Surrey, either through taxes, through the purchases of the buildings and the apartments, to the renters that are renting those said apartments. Somebody is going to have to pay for all those services. And on paper, it does sound like a great thing. It's really hard to stand up against helping people that are low income and disenfranchised. But there has to be a limit of money in there, and I'm here to find out what that limit is and have a conversation about what that limit is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now go to our fourth topic of the evening, which is facilities. Cloverdale is the center out of Guildford, Fleetwood, Newton, North Surrey, and South Surrey. It would seem that we are at the bottom of the list for an indoor pool after the recent announcement that Clayton would be getting one. This is in spite of the continued growth in Cloverdale. If elected, what would you do to ensure that the Cloverdale Town Centre gets equal consideration for recreation projects, specifically an indoor pool? We will begin with the representative of the People's Council.
Hey again, Joe Kennedy. As you can tell, I don't mind taking arrows. I don't mind being first into the burning building to answer these questions. I'm a very inquisitive person. I want to know costs. I want to know details about things. Again, it's great to promise a pool and say, yes, we're going to promise you a pool, but I can't say that because I don't know how much that's going to cost, and I don't know if there's a business out there that can spend their own money to do it better and more affordable and save your tax money. So that's how I look at things whenever doing a cost analysis breakdown for people. I think that we should have a fiduciary responsibility to every taxpayer in here. I don't think that we should be running deficits and then have the federal government bail us out because that's your tax money as well. It's either going to get paid through taxes or inflation, and both end up increasing the cost of housing, the cost of living, gas, everything else like that. So as of right now for the pool, I can't guarantee it. It would be something that I'd look at and be able to communicate with the community and find out if that's actually something that everybody wants to have, and let's go forward.
Thank you. That may have been the shortest answer, but it got applause. Okay, thank you. We will now go to the fifth topic, which is policing. Again, this question is for all candidates. Are you in favor of keeping the RCMP in Surrey, or do you want a Surrey Police Department? As significant costs have already been incurred for the transition from the RCMP to the Surrey Police Service, what are the reasons you have for either scrapping or continuing the transition, and how much will your decision cost taxpayers of Surrey? We'll start this question with a representative of the People's Council.
Great. So yeah, the ship's already sailed with that, right? Is what we're being told, and yet it's still hard to find a budget on exactly how much this ship is going to cost us. You have to look at it from a pragmatic standpoint and go, what is the liability that we're taking on by having a Surrey police force? Are we going to have to incur all the long-term costs? Are we going to have to incur if we get sued, if the Surrey police force gets sued? Does that fall on the citizens of Surrey as well? Are we indemnified by keeping the RCMP? Do we have to pay out the RCMP pensions? Do we have to pay out the Surrey police pensions? These are all long-term forecasts that need to be applied, and so it would come down to a cost-benefit analysis. Also, Surrey is a big, big city, upcoming. You know, with the resources that the RCMP happens to offer, this is just a question, but with the drugs that we have, with the crime that we have, the gang violence that we have, do we need the resources of the RCMP to be able to deal with these things, or can we do it on our own as Surrey? These are the questions that I have. So.
Thank you. Same question now for a representative of the state of Surrey. The final topic for this evening is taxes. And again, all candidates will be afforded this question, and after we've concluded that, all candidates will be given a chance to summarize their positions. So on taxes, the question then for all candidates is simply, overall, the cost of property taxes is in the double digits for most homeowners. So what will you do to bring it down to an affordable level? We will start with a representative of the People's Council.
Excellent. Again, Joe Kennedy here. How do you bring down taxes to an affordable level? We have currently a government that is happy to print oodles and oodles of money. We have inflation running through the roof. Inflation is usually a 2-year elastic phenomenon, I suppose. So not only are we dealing with higher taxes, but we're also dealing with inflation now. You know, we really need to have efficient government. We need people that are going to be standing up and asking very tough questions, but questions that most people probably have. We need a government that's going to stand up and actually represent the everyday Canadian, not intersectionality groups, not ideologies. Just ask questions and be transparent and allow people to see everything. In terms of lowering taxes, we have to look at how much money Surrey is spending, where the waste is, and be able to see if there are services that we could trim back if possible, and then allow people to make those choices with the taxes that they save to be able to spend that how they want to on businesses. Thank you.
Thank you. We have now concluded the question and answer portion of the evening. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to offer their final thoughts. We will begin with Joe Kennedy from the People's Council.
Absolutely. Again, Joe Kennedy with the People's Council, Surrey. We're not well-funded. We're not beholden to any international organizations. We don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to advertise. You really won't hear too much or see many of our signs out here. We're funded by small, regular Canadians, regular people in Surrey. Why did I get into politics? I got into politics because during 2020, I was really looking for courageous representation from our elected officials during COVID to be able to see the big picture, to see beyond the crisis at hand, and to be able to see how things could be manipulated against the citizens of Canada at that time. That's why I decided to run for the People's Party of Canada, to stand up for everybody's choice to medical freedom, to be able to decide on what choices are best in their life, on how to decide on what they want to pursue, what they want to sacrifice for, and what it means to be human. So I'm Joe Kennedy, People's Council.
Thank you.
Thank you.